Going bats for Batman 66. Yes. Okay. This is a great two-parter with Mr. Freeze. It's called Instant Freeze and Rats Like Cheese. We're gonna talk about it using my bats formula, which is, of course, we're gonna talk about the banter, the action, the tech, and the schemes. And it's going to be a lot of damn fun. As usual, I do have lots of notes for this one. So let's start right out by talking about some of the banter. There's a lot of ice references. We're just like that Batman and Robin movie. You kind of got, where did that come from? That kind of came from this. Chilling news, Batman, Mr. Freeze is back. You're like, oh my God. There's a lot of Mr. Freeze himself is actually really cool. So this is one of a couple of actors, three actors that have played Mr. Freeze in this one. And this isn't the Wikipedia channel. You guys can look up all that. I'm just going through the fun parts. We're not going to get into the actors and who's the better actor and whatever. It doesn't matter. I love all the Mr. Freeze people. Here at one point he's like, first I toy with them, then I destroy them. That's a good line of Mr. Freeze's. There's Holy Snowball. We knew there was going to be a Holy Snowball in there. That's kind of fun. There's a he says Lambago or something. Robin is like leaping Lambagos, or it's like, okay, that that was a kind of a weird one. There's of course, Mr. Freeze says cold cuts, turn him into cold cuts. That's kind of a funny line. Mr. Freeze's name, they do give Mr. Freeze's name as Dr. Shivel. So that's an interesting. You can look that one up and let me know. I mean, there's like, that's the way the ice cube crumbles, like that kind of lines. I'm trying to see what other lines I wrote down. Batman is always like, no, there's like a picture who gets kidnapped by Mr. Freeze. And he's like, no, we must save him because he inspires the youth of today who will become the men of tomorrow. Awesome line. That's a great line. And I love where Robin, there's a part where Batman and Robin are in Mr. Freeze's hideout. And then he's got that. This is the one where the orange light, kind of the orangey red lights where you can walk, because Mr. Freeze has to exist in minus 50 below zero temperatures. So anyone in his like layer can't really walk around because it's constantly cold. He's not in the suit all the time. So he has a little machine that he can press, and it can give you like a line of where you can walk. So you can walk in certain areas or whatever. And Robin goes to attack him, and he slipped on the baked Alaska. I thought that was kind of funny. And at the end, when they're getting pictures of everybody and the princess is there, and they're like, oh, say cheese. It's like, no, say Mr. Freeze. You're like, really? Okay, thank you. That's fine. And then, of course, at the very end, they're served a baked Alaska, and Batman and Robin are like, oh man, not a baked Alaska. Action is decent. So again, these first episodes, the action is pretty good, but like it definitely picks up with more music and more crazy stuff. There's a cool part in the beginning where Mr. Freeze ices up the cops, and he ices the road. So his freeze gun is neat. That provides a lot of cool like action kind of bits where we're trying to shoot people. There's I feel like Mr. Freeze is like kills these guys because the cliffhanger is that Batman and Robin are frozen and they have to be thawed. And I guess all those other guys died. And then there's actually one point where this guy gets frozen and then he falls. You're like, did that guy just shatter? That's crazy. Sometimes people get killed in this show. Like, remember when Molly fell into the reactor or whatever. But anyways, so that there's a lot of freeze action, of course. There's the Batman, there's a cool thing where again Batman tries to break through that temperature to attack Mr. Freeze. Like he just goes for it, right? Like, so he's in his little compartment where it's the orange and red so he can be safe, and then Mr. Freeze is out there and he just tries to get him, and he can't do it. So that's kind of a neat thing. There's a great fight, of course, at the end in the second episode with this polar bears, and they use the polar bear, which is kind of funny. Yeah, like again, it's decent action. There's a cool thing where like Batman and Robin actually physically climb up the side of a building, like almost like a parkour style. A lot of the times, they use the bat rope, and then they've got that side angle where it's like they're just walking straight, but it makes it look like they're going up to the side. But this one, the stunt guys like actually climbed it. It looked pretty good, so that was really neat. Let's talk about some of the technology in Batman, because Batman's got a lot of great technology. There's an anti-freeze capsule, but you can only go to 0 degrees on that one. So we could probably use it today because it's like -8 or something out there right now. So that would be a good piece of tech to have. There's, of course, the freeze gun, which can also double as a fire gun because he can set things on fire with the gun. So that's a nifty little weapon. The freeze gun is great. There's, of course, the giant map that we have seen from time to time. I haven't mentioned that one yet, the illuminated map of Gotham City. There's now I gotta read this. Okay. The interdigital bat sorter. Saw a little bit of that. That's kind of neat. There's also the hospital. So they go to the hospital, and the hospital apparently has a defrosting chamber or something. You're like, okay, sure, why not have a defrosting chamber? That's kind of cool. There is Mr. I don't know if you I don't know, I didn't know where to category to put this in, but I thought it worthy of mention. There's Mr. Freeze's hands can chill things, obviously. So he grabs, certain drinks. It's like a martini, and he can like hold it and chill it. He can take a brandy it or whatever. So it's really, I kind of thought that was just kind of a neat thing. I put it under technology, I guess. And of course, Batman thwarts Mr. Freeze's freezing room by wearing his bat super long thermal underwear. So that's great technology. Again, could use that today on a nice cold day. Okay, the schemes of this one. So one of the things in the reason Mr. Freeze is scheming at all is that Batman created Mr. Freeze. Now, this is the first time we've heard of the sort of a mini origin of the villain saying, well, this guy was just like a crook, and then Batman, through Batman's faults, the instant freeze stuff went on him, and that's how he became Mr. Freeze, and then Batman feels bad about it. I actually thought it was really good. Again, these first episodes still have some seriousness to them in regards to some of the story elements, and even with like the characters and stuff, like talking about Batman's origin. It's all very done in a very serious way. Really pretty cool. Again, I talked about the sections of heat. One of the schemes that Mr. Freeze uses is having multiple Batmans and multiple Mr. Freezes running around the city doing weird stuff. I don't really understand how that scheme was supposed to work in any way. Like, it just feels like there's a bunch of them. It's like, okay, so there's a bunch of them. Like, who cares? He wants to steal diamonds, which are called ice in which we've seen before. He does freeze the Batmobile. That's kind of he tries to freeze the Batmobile there. That's kind of neat. What else? He does freeze them. That's your cliffhanger. So I've mentioned that already. Their thought, of course. He leaves. So Mr. Freeze, also one of his tactics is to leave messages in the sky, like strike 1, strike 3, and and he's trying to he kidnaps the pitcher. There's a baseball motif where Robin loves this pitcher guy, and he gets captured, and there's Princess Sandra as well. So he wants to trade that guy for Batman. I liked that when Batman gave his word that he would go exchange himself for the pitcher. Robin actually put a tracer on Batman and followed him, but then he gets captured, which sucks. But I liked that Robin was proactive in that. So that's a bit of a Robin scheme in that one. And then of course he's captured right away. I mean, look, there's a great little fight 3-on-2 to finish it off. I love this episode. I love them all. I'm not rating these to say, oh, this is a whatever out of 10. To me, they're all 10 out of 10. I just absolutely love this show. It's just one of my favorite shows of all time. I think it's a great thing for Batman. It gave us the Batman craze. It put Batman on the map big time. So I absolutely love this one. But that's it, guys. All right, make sure you check out the other videos in this playlist and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.